Hello, everybody. This is the Online Adjudicator, and I am crazy excited for tonight's live. So, I am back from an awesome weekend at Fierce at the Gold Coast. It was so much fun. If you were there, thank you so much. Hello, everyone jumping on. If you were there at Fierce, oh my gosh, wasn't it so fun? If you were there at FYD last week, wasn't it so fun? I just love adjudicating. I love what I do. But I'm super pumped about my new Dancer Spotlight Live that I'm going to be doing every single Sunday. So I want to give you a little bit of insight into what it is. So I thought, wouldn't it be so great to get some of you guys on so that I can chat to you and we can answer questions. So first of all, if you have any questions for the beautiful Daisy Boo, pop them in the chat. She does have some questions that I'm going to already ask, of course, that I think will be really valuable to you guys. But if there's anything extra afterwards, we can have a little look, and if there's any extra time, I'm sure she'll answer them if she reads one of them there. Oh, this is so cool. Hi, guys. Yeah, so if you would like to be considered for the Dancer Spotlight, you need to send me a message. So you must be following, obviously, the Online Adjudicator, but send me a message in my inbox just saying, hey, it's me from Perth. I would love to be considered for the Dancer Spotlight. And just tell me a little bit about yourself. How long you've been dancing, what you love about dancing, and I will choose some really cool dancers to be on the Dancer Spotlight, get as many as I can, but every Sunday I'll be doing a different person, some new. You don't have to be an experienced dancer, you can be a new dancer, so we can talk about how it feels to be new as well. So whoever wants to be part of the Dancer Spotlight can absolutely message me, and I can have a look there and I can mix it all up. So anyway, you're not here to talk to, just to me tonight, so I'm going to get the beautiful Daisy Boo on. So I know that she joined, so let me just have a look. How do I... Oh, this is good. Do I actually know how to invite her on? Oh, there we go. I'm going to invite Daisy to come on. So I'm super excited for you guys to meet Daisy Boo. If you haven't already met her, there she is. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Welcome to the Dancer Spotlight. Thank you so much for being the first dancer. You were the first person I thought of. I was like, Daisy Boo, please be free. I really want you to be the first dancer on the Dancer Spotlight. So welcome, and thank you so much for being part of this.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Have you been dancing today? You look like What have you done today?
Well, this morning I actually did a flash mob outside Luna Park.
I saw that. Oh my gosh, how fun was that?
And then I had a Shakedi Scholars audition, which I was lucky enough to get in. So that's very exciting as well.
Oh my gosh. So you're like absolutely over the moon and pumped, which I am so excited for you. Well done. Congratulations. All right, let's get straight to it, because I know some of you, some of them might not know you, Daisy Boo. So a lot of people are new. They could be from Perth, or, you know, something that I've met before that they've never even known you. So let's just start there. Can you just tell me a little bit, obviously you're Daisy Boo, but just tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, when you started dancing, just things that people might not know about you.
Yeah, well, I'm Daisy Boo. I'm 15. I started dancing when I was around 7. And so that's around 8 years that I've been dancing. I am currently training at VCAS, but I danced at Ministry of Dance for the 8 years that I've been dancing. I also trained with Skim, Rise, Boss, Dance Prescription, heaps of different programs, which, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool to look at. So you didn't start dancing when you were 7?
Yeah.
That's kind of late for a dancer.
Yeah, a lot of people start when they're like around 2 or 4, but I actually did calisthenics and gymnastics before I did dance.
Oh, okay. So you still were in the kind of field of movement, and okay. So it wasn't like you were doing soccer and then you moved to dance. Because I actually started when I was 2.5. So yeah, I was so young when I started. But I think most people do start kind of around this. So you're amazing that you started at 7, absolutely incredible. Okay, so let's know. I've got some questions here that I want to just look at. So what age were you actually then when you started? Tell us about your first comp. So what age were you when you started comps, and how was that experience?
Yeah, well, my first comp, I was, I think, 8 years old. And I remember I did my 4 solos, and I remember I was very excited but very nervous because I hadn't had a lot of time to go on stage, and like I hadn't had a lot of experience. So I found that comps has really boosted my confidence with that, in that sense, in like performing and all of that. Yeah.
And let's know, tell everyone, how good were you when you were 8? Did you win everything straight off the bat? Were you a rock star, or were you not so much a rock star then?
At my first competition, I think I did my 4 solos and I got 2 firsts and 2 seconds.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So my first comp, I wasn't I was still good. I had a lot of potential. I've improved a lot since then.
I bet. Now, when you did comps, so obviously you're not doing comps anymore, is that correct?
At the moment, I haven't done any comps this year, no.
Yeah, no, so that's what I thought. So you're kind of making that transition now to doing that. You're so excited. Okay, but when you were doing comps, what did you love about comps? Like, what was it that you loved?
Yeah, well, I always loved meeting new people.
Apart from me.
I always loved meeting new people and like the friendships that I made through comps. I feel like it was always that really special connection, and like it like grew further than just like seeing each other at comps, and it was always like a really nice time to like see them. And I also love just getting the experience of performing on stage and like boosting confidence to get the experience, because for most dance schools it's only the end of your concert, and I feel like competitions like throughout the year really helps get time on stage. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, the experience of just learning a routine, picking it up, remembering it, it's so different when you get off that, you know, in the studio to the stage. It's instantly you get that fear or just difference, you know, so much kind of different feeling. I think some people really struggle with that, you know, and just kind of, so I think it's so good at an early age to have those experiences, isn't it, to kind of learn, because it's going to be like that when you get older, especially if you're going to dance. It's just so good for not professional, but for yourself to kind of go through that rejection, to go through the, you know, not winning all the time, to go through the, you know, learning that you're going to be really excited. I mean, how many times have you danced where your friend that you've met has won and you maybe got second or something, and you're so happy for them genuinely because you're like, this is awesome, you deserve that. And that experience of a dance comp is so beautiful, and I saw it a lot yesterday, but so beautiful to kind of support each other and watch each other. Okay, so obviously you've had many dance solos in your time. What's your favorite dance that you ever did? Is there one that stood out as like, oh, this is the one?
There's quite a lot that like have been like my absolute favorites. I'm always definitely gonna love my first ever solo, which was a lyrical to Not About Angels, and I learned it with my first ever mentor, Romy, and I will always love that routine. I also love I learned a solo with Adrian Ricks. It was Gumby Cat, and he was actually in Cats and toured around the world with it, so it was really amazing to like learn all of that.
That is awesome.
And then I also have a lyrical solo from Mitch Winter, which was so amazing to learn from him. He's now touring with Cirque du Soleil, so it was great to get to learn from him. And then I have a jazz with Mitchell Fistovic Deutsch, which it's always great working with Mitch.
My gosh.
Another one that I love, which I recently got to do, was as the winner of the William Castles, I was lucky enough to perform a solo at the Medals Awards, and Scott and Tim from Skim choreographed that, and I loved performing it because it was something not even in the competition sense, it was more like a presentation and performance. So I loved, because I was also competing in the medals, so it was nice getting to perform not only in the competition but as like a special guest. It was
oh my gosh, you've got such amazing experiences for 15. This is just like incredible. You are amazing though. You're pretty special. Okay, talk to everyone, because there's obviously a lot of people here that are starting comps or are doing comps. Can you give them any kind of, you know, it's not all about winning, or is it all about winning? You know, that kind of thing. Like, you know, how does that feel? And if someone feels like that, because I always say, as long as you do your personal best, like, you know, deep down whether you've gone on there and gone, you know what, I couldn't have done that any better. Because sometimes you do your personal best, but everyone else has also done their personal best, and their personal best just might be slightly, or the judge, you know, I could judge you one day and give you first, but then tomorrow you could do a whole different comp with the exact same routine, actually perform it better and get nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so how does that feel for you if you really feel, you know, just some advice? Because I think people feel sometimes they do well, but they don't see the results.
Well, when I was performing, I was never really about the winning. I was always about like dancing for myself and making myself proud. and like trying to dance for myself because that's time for me and it's not really time for anyone else. It's like a time for myself to perform on stage. And I took it more of like an experience than a competition because I
Yeah.
always wanted to get my time on stage and do it for myself, which I found really,
And then
it's
everything
a
else is
really
just a
different
bonus, right?
experience. Yeah.
And how much better is for you the voice critiques? Like, I just, as soon as the voice critiques came in, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm in heaven now. I'm in heaven. I love the voice critiques because it was so frustrating. I'll be really honest. As an adjudicator, trying to explain to someone my passion and my energy,
Yeah.
and someone's writing it down like, you know, struggling to spell forte, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with scribers, they're great, but I'm just saying it's hard to experience. Oh my gosh, Daisy, you know, pull up on your knees. Oh, careful there on the right. The poor person scribing's just going, pull up pirouettes. Like, there's nothing you can really get. Whereas with the voice critiques, has that made a big difference for you, just learning, going, oh my gosh, I can hear in her voice, you know, or his voice, what they want, what bit they loved, what bit they weren't sure of, what bit my techniques didn't quite get there. So yeah, isn't it been incredible, that change, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, I loved also being able to, like, throughout the routine you can hear, it sounds weird, but like the part in the music that they're talking about, and like if they like the part of it, they'll like you can hear them, and it kind of made you like feel happy because it's like, oh, they like that part, or like it would make you feel more proud of yourself because like you get more confidence.
That's it.
I always found that it really helped because they could add more into the critiques and elaborate on it more through the voice crits. Yeah
100%. I just love it, and especially if you've got a judge like me, guys, and it's like, whoa. How many times have I been like, you know, I get very excited on my voice critiques. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about trophies. Now, I want to know the honest answer here with this question. How much did you love trophies? Do you love a trophy? Because I saw some of these kids yesterday, like the trophies were everything. Or what age does it change that you're not that fussed about the trophy? Is there a shift?
Yeah, well, when I first started dancing, I feel like I was very new to it all because I had only just started dancing, so I didn't really know about it. But to be honest, a lot of my trophies are like in the garage. Like I don't, there's like, I feel like, especially when you're older, I'm not, because I wasn't dancing when I was very young. Like I feel like as from an older perspective, like it literally has, like it does not matter at all. Like I was emptying an old bag the other day and I found like a medal in the pocket. Like it wasn't even like, it wasn't like that needs to like be with me. It was like, it's just, I looked at comps as I'm getting to perform instead of like the trophies, because I feel like it puts the wrong idea in your head, and it's like,
well, sometimes you can be chasing the medal or the trophy instead of actually, like I said, the personal best. So we'll get to some of these questions that everyone's writing. I'll scroll back, guys. So I'm just going to finish my questions and we'll go back. Okay, I've got a question here. So how many comps would you average on? Like, how many would you do a year when you were, you know, fully in comp kind of season?
Yeah,
would you know roughly?
Yeah, it would kind of depend on like if I had my skim show or my boss show or like dance prescriptions. Or like Rise, it would kind of depend on what I would have on. But it kind of varied from like 4 to around like 8-ish, like including nationals, because but it would be around 4 to 8 comps. But during lockdowns, I was actually lucky to slip in a few. So I think I did like 3 or something last year throughout all the different lockdowns.
That was crazy, wasn't it? All that could be a whole nother life, talking about how you survived through that, especially in Melbourne. All right, so let's talk about this. I think this is a really important one. Is there anything, because I have a few pet peeves myself of just when I see things at comps, is there honestly anything that you used to see, be honest and be nice, but anything that you used to see that used to go, oh, like, why do they do that? Or they shouldn't do that. Is there anything like used to frustrate you when you used to watch comps? Because that will help people.
Yeah, well, I feel like not even in the dance sense, but like backstage and like afterwards, like I feel like people not supporting each other really frustrated me because I'm all about like including everyone or being nice to everyone. That's like everything that like I stand by. So like that's what really frustrated me when like I saw people that didn't like go by that. And like I think it's competitions are a learning experience, and it doesn't like doesn't define you what you place or anything. It's one person's opinion.
Totally.
I think it's a learning experience, and that people supporting each other is really important, and when they don't, it is quite frustrating.
It's so frustrating. I just did a reel on that. I'm not sure if you saw it, but it was about just being nice to each other. And I think, you know, the dance community can be small and big at the same time. So it's just like we are one big family. And just support. Like I said, some days it is your day and some days it isn't your day. And, you know, some days it's someone's first time ever on stage, even though they're in your age group. You just don't know. So it's just being lovely to everybody and supporting everyone for that experience. And that's why you are so beautiful, because you're so humble. And, you know, the good karma comes around to kiss you or bite you, right? You have to choose which one. So you're a beautiful person. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk pirouettes. There's been lots of questions here. Have you always been a good turner, or is it something that you've just practiced and kind of got down? Give us your top tips on pirouettes.
Yeah, well, when I was younger, I wasn't the best at pirouettes. Like I have videos of me dancing in like the back room, the same room that I danced in lockdown, trying to do pirouettes after pirouettes for like hours, and I have videos of me just falling over and trying to get back up and just keep doing it. But I feel like the time that really helped me improve my pirouettes was definitely during lockdown, like getting the chance to practice every single day repetitively, doing all the training for it. And I feel like that really helped. And also Dr. Lisa from Dance Prescription really helped me with my pirouettes and like all the training for it, because I needed it.
But I wouldn't say you needed it. I've seen you dance for many, many years, and you were always good at turns. Now you're insane, and I love that about you, because it's not that you're never satisfied. That's a wrong word about saying it, but you're always wanting to improve. So you're never actually kind of going, oh, I can do 7 pirouettes anyway, so why would I need to do 9? Like you're always going, how can I, like, you know, do a fast pirouette but slow down at the end? How can I do an extra trick in that? Like, what will make me become a next level dancer? And it truly is about, you know, working on yourself continuously, isn't it? And or never kind of settling for where you're at.
Yeah,
so important to get that.
Important, especially because nowadays a lot of people can do, like if you look at people overseas and everything, there are so many people that can do really amazing turns. So it's also about being different and finding your uniqueness and being yourself, not trying to be like someone else, and just being yourself, because that will probably end up taking you further than trying to act like somebody else.
Yeah, 100%, Daisy Boo. Guys, if you are getting so much from this, please follow the Online Adjudicator, follow Daisy Boo, share this with your friends. It's just a little arrow there. Love heart, give it to Daisy. Share it so everyone can listen to this, because I'm just, there's so much golden nuggets. You are a machine. You are absolutely gorgeous. You haven't finished, but I'm just saying, if you're loving it, get people to come and watch, because they'll watch it. Share, 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 share. Okay, so let's go back to comp. So when you were in that comp season, or you had a comp coming up, how much did you practice? Like, were you a bit of a, oh, the comp's coming up next week, so I better practice? Or was it something that every week you went over your solo? So I think that's really good for people to hear too. That people might not have a comp now until February. So do they practice, or do they just, do you see what I mean? Do what they want to do, and then 2 weeks before, panic mode.
Well, I feel like with me, when I first started, so when I was younger, I found it a lot easier, and for myself, because I was quite new to the whole comp thing. So I always found that I had like privates weekly to work on those solos. But as I was older and I started actually running them myself, because there was never, in my schedule, there was never enough time to have those privates to work on them. So I would always rehearse them myself weekly, and then when it got closer to the comp, I'd usually have a private, or even just run them by myself again. And I always found it's really good for consistency. And even if it's not practicing the whole solo, just practicing the little bits that you always find difficult, or that you need to work on in the solos is it's really important to work on those.
And I remember when I was big in the comp, you know, back in England when I used to do it. But I used to just hire out the studio, or, you know, there was a great studio. Maybe I couldn't get the dance studio because it was busy, but I used to get a studio at the gym. And I used to just, you know, go and just run all my solos. And it was so good just for my own brain as well. But yeah, it was so important to make sure you're practicing that for yourself so that you're not waiting for someone to give you a private lesson, right? Because sometimes they're busy or whatever. So it's so important to get that rehearsal up. Okay, so what big tip, if you could give one, I mean, you must have so many, but if you give a big tip to everyone watching, what would that be to help them?
Probably just to be yourself and like to train as hard as you can, because being a determined and hardworking dancer is what people want in this industry. And like if you want to get into the industry, they're always trying to find people that are hardworking, dedicated, and are willing to do as much as they can, like to make themselves better. They're not going to just settle for being like, they always want to improve.
Yeah, that's beautiful,
so
guys.
So be yourself,
Be yourself and work truly hard, because there's what I love too though, Daisy Boo, there's only one you.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got to be the best version that you can be, haven't you? That's what I love. You'll be the best version that you can be, because it's so, so, so important. Okay, so what does the future hold for you in dancing? What's the dream? What's the vision?
Well, I know I definitely want to do something in dance. I of course want to go overseas. I feel like every dancer wants to go overseas, but I really want to go overseas and train and learn from different like choreographers and get to dance at all the like Broadway Dance Center, Millennium Playground, Space TV. Like I feel like all those places, there's so much that you can learn from them, and all the different tours that the different competitions do overseas. There's so much to learn from all the choreographers, and that would be such an amazing experience.
Oh, and they'd be so lucky to have you. Oh my goodness, imagine Daisy Boo on tour in America. Okay, so I am just looking at some of these questions. Do you have time, Daisy Boo, to answer a few of these questions? Yeah. Okay, so question is, you're all asking how you can join. If you want to be considered for Dancer Spotlight, send me a message, that's all. And I'll make a little list. So how long you've been dancing for and that you'd love to be part of this. That will be cool, and then I'll be in touch. You're amazing at turns, they're saying. Yes, she is. We've answered that one. Can you see any? Oh, you inspire. Can you see all these comments? You inspire so many people. People love you. Okay, so we've answered the favorite solo one. Let's have a look. Can you see any, Daisy Boo, that we haven't answered? How old when you started dancing? I can answer that when she was 7. 10 tips we've done for Violet. I'm making sure I'm not missing anything. It is so cool to chat to you. Just going down. There's so many people join. This is great. Oh, but yeah, it's so important to be yourself. Oh, top full-time studios. Have you got any advice for anyone for any top full-time studios? Do you know what?
Well, I know there's so many in Australia that are like so amazing. Like they're just incredible. Like I've always looked up to the dancers at Dance Force, because like I've always wanted to travel, and I love the Gold Coast and like Tweed Heads. I love summer, so
that's why I live in Noosa, darling. Noosa, darling.
I've always wanted to go and take class and train up at Dance Force, because everyone there is so inspiring, and they're such like amazing technical dancers, but then they also are amazing like commercial and jazz dancers. So I love
and they're just about to do a tour, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're about to do a tour. I've just seen that. So cool. New Zealand, they've got it all going on. And so Macy's really asking here, what do you like to do when you're not dancing? Do you have any other hobbies, or what do you do? Or is it just dancing?
I do a lot of dancing.
I was a bit like that.
I love to I love hanging out with my brother. His I
cute.
Yeah. And just hanging out with friends. Yeah.
Oh, someone said, will you do ballet in your future?
I love ballet, but I don't think that that's the like career path that I would take in the future.
Yeah, I agree, but isn't it important? Because I was very, you know, RAD trained in ballet, but it was
Yeah,
very much kind of a sliding door moment for me of I was so good at ballet, but actually when I got measured, I was always going to be a bit bigger in my bones for what the
mm,
traditional ballerina was going to be. So I'm
yeah,
so happy that I went to professional stage school and did, more the
yeah,
jazz, but I still had that advanced core RAD ballet training technique, which is why
yeah,
I'm so important. It's so important to do ballet, guys, even if you're not going
yeah.
to be a ballerina, because that's why
Mm.
you can do your turns the way you do, because your ballet's so strong. But it
Yeah,
makes you
well, at the
such a good
moment,
dancer.
yeah, at the moment, doing so many hours of ballet a week at VCAS, I think I do like around 10 to 15 per week. I've seen so
Wow.
much, I find it so much easier to do things like that need control, and even just being stable on my leg, or just being on balance when turning. I find it so much easier now and so much more controlled. So the ballet is very important.
It is important. Oh my gosh. Well, Daisy, thank you so much. If there's any other questions, put in the chat now. We got like 22 minutes. But thank you so much for jumping on and for being my #1 dancer on Dancer Spotlight. Who will it be next week? Will it be you? Send me a message if you would like to be part of it. Please, guys, follow the Online Judica. Tell your friends about it. I'm on a mission
Yeah.
to inspire so many people and just help you guys out, because there's a bit of a gap between teaching and getting that ready for the comp and then the adjudicator. So I really want to help you guys and just, really kind of get as much as you can from those comps as well. So share this, tag your friends, and I can't wait to speak to one of you next week at the same time. So I'll see you guys on Instagram. But thank you so much, Daisy Boo. Mwah. Love you
Thank
lot.
you for having me.
Pleasure anytime. Bye, guys.
Bye.